the Bears and the Falcons. The Falcons favored by 3. Over under on this one, 49. What are your thoughts here?
I really wanted to take Atlanta here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really did. But they seem to be regressing here a little bit, right? Like they're fading down the stretch a little bit. Um, Here they are at home. They should be playing better at home, but I think the crowd's kind of out of it too. Like I think they had a glimmer of hope in that share of first place, and now that that's gone, I think everyone in that division, maybe except the Saints, just because they hate Tampa Bay so much, but I think everyone else in that division, with the Panthers and Falcons mainly, have kind of just regressed to the fact that, well, hell, Tampa Bay's in first now, so now they're not going to give it up, right? So I think there's a little bit of quit there. On the flip side, I think the Bears have finally started to unlock some offensive success here, right? We've seen Justin Fields go over 100 yards rushing here the last 2 weeks. His prop this week is only like 63, 63 and a half, something like that. I think there's an over breeding somewhere in there, although neither one of us picked it for our props. So there's a bonus one. Justin Fields over his rushing prop of 62, 63, 64 and a half.
I actually looked at that one heavily and went, and the reason I didn't go with that is because this was one of those I was looking at it and I really thought about taking it. Atlanta doesn't send extra pressure towards the quarterback. In fact, they have one of the lowest pressure rates out there in the NFL this season. And so it was one of those that I didn't go that route, because now Justin Fields most likely is going to be staring down 3 or 4 man rushing deals there, and he's going to see more people down the field in coverage, in things like that, as a way to potentially lower that rushing limit on that as well. So that was one of those. I saw that one and I about smashed it, and I got really kind of digging in and doing some research on that, and that was kind of the reason that it pulled me off of that one, was just the fact that he's going to have to be running against more defenders downfield than what we've seen the last few weeks here.
No, fair enough. So good research. I like that. That's good to know. But for the game specific, I'm taking Chicago. I think they cover the 3. I think Chicago wins this game outright. So this is kind of one of those games where you can kind of double dip, right? You get Chicago, you get 3 points, and you get plus 140 on the money line there. I like both of those this week. I'm taking the under begrudgingly, and it's more or less just the lack of defensive prowess by each one of these teams, more so than offensive ability here. Did I say under?
You did.
I meant over. I apologize.
All right. I saw that
over.
one.
Yeah, sorry. I'm taking the over because of the bad defense here. We've seen Chicago put up 24 plus the last couple weeks, so I think Chicago can get there. Atlanta, it helps that Cordell Patterson's back. What doesn't help is the fact that they still forget who Kyle Pitts is. At what point you're 4-6? At what point do you have to get to the point where let's throw Ritter in? Because I think once Ritter comes in, Kyle Pitts starts to go ham. I really, really, really do. For whatever reason, Marcus Mariota refuses to just pepper Kyle Pitts. And part of it is the number of pass plays that Atlanta in general calls. It's not all on Mariota, but good Lord, this guy should be seeing 6 catches a game. And I don't care how many times you have to throw him the ball to get that. He should be seeing 6 catches a game. He's getting 6 to 8 targets and 3 to 4 catches, 33 yards. So it's frustrating. But anyway, I'm taking Chicago. I'm taking the over, and we're confident in that this week. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, I like that as well, and I'm going the same route. I'm going Chicago. I'm going the over on this one. Chicago has been putting up 30 on average 30 points a game the last 3 weeks. So there's a good chance to take care of half of this score by themselves. Chicago's defense isn't great either. So I do like the over on this. There is a slight concern looking at this one, is the fact that part of the reason that you've seen Chicago go ham on the offensive side of things is they've been having to keep up against some of these other offenses. Atlanta is not the juggernaut from an offensive standpoint that we've seen them have to play against some of these other ones there. Detroit's bad on defense, but they've been good on offense. Miami's been pretty good on offense. Dallas has been pretty good.
I think the San Francisco 49ers would disagree that Atlanta is not an offensive powerhouse.
So, fair enough. I think that was more a case that San Francisco's defense said, we'll overlook this one and look towards next week. But
they have two really bad losses. The Broncos and the Falcons are as good as that 49ers team can and should be.
Right.
They have two really bad losses on their resume.
Right. So I do think that the over hits, but this is one of those that this could be. I will throw the caveat there that it could be a little bit of a trap game simply on the over, just simply from the standpoint that it may be a deal where the Bears don't have to keep up on the offensive side of this, and we see an overall lower scoring game. Now, that being said, one of the things that I think will help out some of your Atlanta pass catchers this week is I do think that you're going to see the Bears absolutely stack the box this week and force Mariota to try and throw the ball and try and beat them through the air. So we could see an uptick in receiving volume for guys like Drake London, for guys like Kyle Pitts on there. And if this is, if we're going to see it this year, I think this is the game that we can see that one potentially happen. One of the props that I really like was Monty going over 10.5 receiving yards, no Khalil Herbert. And this is one of those that you could easily see Monty take care of this in one play.
Yeah, I like this one a lot for those same reasons, right? Like no Khalil Herbert. And with Monty running that show, he should be able to get there, right? One play, 2 catches, whatever. I mean, but you could have a long third down screen to Monty, and like you said, just eat this whole thing up. So I like that one a lot. I'm taking Cordell Patterson over 49.5 rushing yards. Like that just seems a little light to me. Last week his usage wasn't as big, but I think that was more of a fluke than anything else. They're going to lean on this run game because neither team is going to be playing a whole lot of catch-up. Game script's going to stay pretty neutral, I believe, for most of this game, and it will allow Cordell Patterson to see a bunch of work out of the backfield. He will get over 50 yards.